Welcome to the Half in the Bag Disc Golf Podcast, streaming to you as part of the Joe's Disc Golf Podcast Network. And here are your hosts, Ben, Joe, and RJ.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Half in the Bag Disc Golf Podcast. As always, my name is RJ. I'm coming to you from Northeast Indiana, and today I am drinking Bud Light because I really didn't just want to start off the show by drinking some liquid IV again because it has been a very long day.
Wine. You sound like a disc golf pro.
That's the only thing I sound like. Or that's the only way that I'm related to a disc golf pro.
How much have you had?
Well, this is my second glass of liquid IV in the last 20 minutes, so
tea break soon.
Hey! Yeah, very, very likely. Also, I don't know where my dog is, so that's probably not good, but oh well, whatever. Not a big deal. It's fine. She's in the house somewhere.
It'll be fine.
Well, that was RJ. I guess I'll go next. I'm Ian. I'm hailing from the land of Chicago, drinking some... there we go. Valkyrie Hero from Revolution Brewing.
He's had a few
words. Unfortunately, no. I've also had a very long day chopping up several trees worth of wood. So that
manual
and
labor.
Water.
Yeah. Yay, manual labor. Landscaping and chopping wood. And Joe, what manual labor did you do this week?
Mother's Day?
Took care of my daughter.
Mother's Day.
Yeah.
He had the toughest work out of all of us.
You sure did?
Yeah. I got to play Father, which I've been playing for almost 8 months now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
It has been about 8 months.
Yeah, it's been crazy. But
how
yes,
many times have you had to quick save and reload?
No, I just sit by the fire and rest.
Got it.
Dark Souls method.
Oh, man. Well, this has been the Half in the Bag video game podcast.
Apparently. This is Joe. I'm currently drinking some Gentleman Jack and crying because as of 45 minutes, my camera update is, it just went to 62 in front of my eyes.
Nice.
62%. So this is the disembodied voice of Joe. Maybe I'll throw up some picture or something. For you audio people, nothing different there.
Yeah, I think our female YouTube viewership just went up a bunch.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, RJ. I am good looking.
2%.
I mean, that
I think
beard,
only looking at
the
stats on my YouTube page, I think only one person has actually, out of the over 600 subscribers, which you should subscribe if you aren't already, out of all of those people, I think only one person's filled out the demographics, because 100% of my viewership is 35 to 44 male. And I find that hard to believe.
I mean, is it not just you that watches your own podcast?
I'm not that old, jackass.
Yet.
Well, it's because
Also,
those are your alt accounts.
Yes.
Yeah, your burner.
Also, I mean, that's like half in the bag for the first, 2 months. Our key demographic was 18 to 26-year-old women. Because that was,
I have to think
according
that was a
to
drinking
Spotify,
game.
that was 100% of our viewership or listenership.
Mm-hmm.
I have to think that was some type of drinking game.
It had to be, especially because Spotify at that time made up like 90% of our downloads for podcast. So, like, according to Spotify, pretty much 90% of our audience was, at least 90% was a woman.
Was a
They
woman.
were fooled
Just
by
one.
that podcast cover.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
They probably were.
Now we have the Raptor logo podcast cover, which is much more accurate for who we are.
But
Pretty
much.
much.
So.
Pretty much.
All right. Well,
Although my wife dressed her in a bucket hat today.
Nice.
And I called her
did it
Raptor
have
Baby.
Raptors.
No, it had little rainbows. Close enough. You're my boy, Blue.
Bean also had a bucket hat on today,
Yep.
helping out in the yard.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
My yard is mostly flooded still.
Yeah.
There's a
got
lot
that.
of rain.
That's like when
rain.
I tried to go disking yesterday, and I drive past hole 3 on my way to park, and I just see probably a 10-foot halo of water around the basket. So I pull into the parking lot, and I turn around and go back from where I came, because I took a look at that and said, nope. We're not dealing with that today.
Yeah. Everything around here is pretty much water hazard with very few fairway left.
Tillman was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Even hole 10, which hole 10 is probably one of the lowest points in the course. That is, the whole reason hole 10 has the short pin so short is if that area floods during a tournament, you could still play 18 holes because it's a 19-hole course. You skip 11, you play short there, and you play white 12, which is also short and up higher, and play to that basket. So that was part of that course design.
That's good thinking.
Actually really smart.
Someone was using their noggin, and that's why
Someone
he's
was
a good
being,
course designer.
Someone was being a thinker, not a stinker.
Yes. He's a very good thinker. He's also like Facebook friends with pretty much every pro out there, it seems.
Yeah,
So he's a stinker, huh?
Yes. He's also really good at disc golf.
Nice.
Yes.
Is this Big E?
No.
Okay.
B Mills.
Oh, I was
Nah.
thinking it was B. Willie.
No, that's a different guy.
Yeah.
Very different by like 20 years. It's my guess. I'm saying
Really?
B. Willie is younger, way younger than B. Mills. 'Cause I don't know who actually listens to this podcast.
Apparently,
Everybody.
18 to 26-year-old females.
Not anymore. When Ben left, they left.
That's suspicious.
That
Hey,
is
you know-
very strange.
Yeah.
Kayla and Candy, they just had all those alt accounts.
Apparently.
And Bria.
There we go.
Yes, and Bria. Yes.
Of course.
Can't forget her. Well, now that we've jacked around on the intro for 10 minutes, let's tell people where they can find all of these podcasts and videos and all of that stuff. So if you're listening to this and want to watch our video version, you can find that on Joe's YouTube channel, YouTube/Joe's Disc Golf. If you are watching this and don't want to look at us, I am personally deeply offended.
I know. Nope.
And
I
couldn't
realize
even say that one
shaking
with a
my
straight
head
face.
does nothing. Besides the fact that, it's also an audio podcast. I have no video right now.
Oh yeah. No,
totally
you were
audio
definitely.
for you.
I could hear the shaking in your
Yes.
voice.
Yes. I thought it was the rocks in my head.
Well, that too. So if you're watching this and want to listen to it, you can find it wherever you get your major podcasts. You can also get this one there. Probably an oversight by somebody. So, write your senator if you don't want to listen to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
I think it's in the Geneva Conventions, something about Cruel and Unusual Punishment. I'm full of it tonight, guys. I don't know what.
Boy. Oh,
it
boy.
might have been that blueberry margarita with dinner.
Oh. Okay.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Interesting.
Hang on.
choice.
We're not talking anymore on this podcast until you tell us about this.
So Sunday night dinner at my in-laws because, that's
Yep.
what we do every Sunday night.
That's
And
what
they
you
had
do,
a
isn't
bottle.
it?
They said, "Oh, what do you want for dinner? You're finishing up your beer." I was having a summer shandy because Liney's is delicious. And
Yep.
I took that tour probably enough times where I could give it because I lived 45 minutes at the time. I lived 45 minutes from there and free samples with every tour. And the tours were free. So,
Hell yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely.
They're just giving
then-
away beer.
And then they switched it to $1, but you still got 5 4-ounce samples.
Well, okay.
So, but still,
Okay.
really good deal. So I was finishing that
$1
up.
for
They're
20
like,
ounces of beer.
do you want
Sure.
Do you want wine? Do you want another beer? I was like, wine sounds good. Then my mother-in-law goes, well, we have these blueberry margaritas. I went, ooh, that sounds good. It was pre-mixed, but
Okay.
very delicious. Could have used more tequila. Could have used a Ben Pour, but
As long as it was better than the Bud Light beer Ritas that we had.
oh, those are so bad. But they got
mean-
you where you needed to go.
They sure did.
I mean, is that better or worse than doing...
They were free, so probably better. Because your
Okay,
mom
I was
gave them
gonna
to
say-
us.
Yep. She
I love
didn't
your
want
mom.
'em.
I can't blame her after drinking them.
Yeah, I was going to say, is it better or worse than doing Boilermakers with Bud Light and peanut butter whiskey?
Oh. Oh. That
Yeah.
sounds awful.
No.
It,
Bad choice.
Give me an Irish car bomb any day, though.
it was a life choice and a life experience and a
Was that
near-death
at your
experience.
bachelor party?
Yes, it was.
2.0 or 1.0?
1.0.
Okay.
1.5 to be
Yeah.
precise.
No, that was actually the first one that we were doing
okay.
via Zoom.
Yep.
Yes, for those that don't know, I got married in the middle of the pandemic, which meant that my bachelor party went from being something along the lines of everyone getting together and having a good time to everyone socially distancing and having a good time.
We got drunk on the internet.
Yay.
And see how much things have changed in the past few years.
Trailblazer.
We're still
that's,
doing that.
That's what you were. Trailblazer.
Joe said,
Yeah.
wait, I could monetize this.
Still waiting to monetize it.
Oh man. Oh man. Yes. So yes, you can find this
Back
podcast
to social media, I guess.
Yes, you can find this podcast on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. If you want to follow us on social media, you can follow us at Half in the Bag DG on Twitter. You can follow Joe, basically Joe's Disc Golf, anywhere that there's social media that's worthwhile. Is that a fair assessment, Joe?
I'm not on Snapchat.
Well,
Well-
I have you on Snapchat.
Yes. I am on Snapchat, but
That
I
is,
am
that is a
not
very different arrangement.
I'm not publicly on Snapchat.
Yes.
I heard a doot-doot-loot. Oh, video might be coming up soon.
Oh,
No promises.
Ooh.
we'll see. We'll see.
Yes.
That'll really mess with the editing for the video.
Yes.
That happened to
That's
me
really,
one
really
time,
good.
and I'm just like, oh boy. Well, good
Yeah.
news. Joe is also our editor, so
So it's
You know.
my problem.
exactly. So you can also help support this podcast. Oh.
Oh.
There's a
Oh,
Joe.
You're very exposed.
Better.
No, you're still very shiny.
Hey,
Not
Joe,
that
our
exposed.
viewership
You're overly exposed.
our viewership might go up if you were exposed like that.
I wouldn't. Nope.
There. Now you look more like a human being.
Ah,
Now you're a ghost.
Yeah, but have you
was
actually
a
ever
spooky
seen
ghost.
Joe? Have you ever actually seen Joe in person? He is actually that white.
yes, this isn't a T-shirt that I'm wearing under my polo shirt. It is my skin.
Yes. Oh man, you see what happens when there isn't a disc golf tournament? We just go off the rails for 20, 30 minutes to start the show because we don't
fair,
have.
It's taken 18 episodes before we got off the rails.
No, it took like 10 minutes.
No, we
Into
didn't get off the
episode 1.
rails for the first 17 episodes.
It's what I do best. I take the rails and I just set us slightly off course.
It's fine with me.
You do that trick where you pull out the tablecloth and everything stays on the table, but you do it with rails or with train tracks and trains.
Choo choo.
Yep.
Okay.
Look at that. Man Cave Bar is now open.
Woohoo.
Oh, good. If you want to support this podcast, you can do so by supporting Joe's Disc Golf, by buying from, or by visiting and
That too.
preferably buying from Joe's Disc Golf /shop. Correct,
Yep.
Joe?
Yep.
Okay. So now that we've gone through all of our intro stuff, let's
Yarp.
talk about some exciting disc golf that did happen this weekend. As I
Yeah.
said, I had a very long day. Not all of that was because of manual labor. Joe, you and I went out disking at 8 a.m. this morning, and
Yes,
about 9
bright and
o'clock.
early.
Yeah, I think about 9 o'clock, the comment was made where if I ace this hole, we're just going to call it a day and go get drinks. Do you remember what just happened before that?
I can tell you in a second. Do I not have that on my phone?
A
Where's
multimedia presentation?
I was trying to find it here. Aha. 8:47 is when the
At
picture was taken.
8:47, I declared that we would be
I had one of
ending our
these.
round.
Yes. I got an ace, first ace at Tillman Park, believe it or not.
Ooh, nice.
Okay.
I mean, when I usually play Reds and Blues, there's only a couple holes that I think are aceable for me. Hole 7 along the river,
Oh, yes.
because Red and Blue are 30 feet back from where we teed off in a straight line. Let's see. Hole 1
Yeah, that's fair.
and hole 3, I think, from Red and Blue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that's the
So-
one where I had the nice long putt on today.
Yes,
to
you did.
Save par.
Yes, it was a beautiful putt. Beautiful par save. Yeah.
Yeah.
We both thought I was going to smoke a tree. Just absolutely just... It looked like it was headed right for the tree. Last minute, I used the voice-activated disc control and said, don't hit that tree. And it listened. But snuck, millimeters inside that
Yeah.
tree. And just
Yeah.
kept on cruising. I was like, hey, this could be a good shot. And then all of a sudden, it actually went in. And from my perspective, I couldn't tell if it stuck. But you could tell. So
Yeah.
then I got
Yeah,
super excited.
It definitely stuck. Yeah. Well, there was
Oh,
a
and hole
lot of
16
yelling.
is another one I think I could ace from Red. Very easy forehand. That's that one that we went back that I showed you?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you showed. Yes, because you were telling me that you really want to ace that hole sometime.
Yes.
And then you aced a different hole. So
I did.
I mean,
I'm so terrible at disc golf.
yeah.
I mean, have you tried just getting good? Come on now.
I mean, I've been trying to live by Jason's advice ever since he kicked my ass at Disney Connect all those years ago. And he said, Next time, just do better. He was 5.
Best advice.
And I was sober. I was 100% sober
You sure were,
until that
buddy.
moment. And then I
is
started
Disney
drinking
Connect?
heavily. What was that?
What is Disney Connect?
You remember the 360 and the Kinect?
Yes.
So it's a Disney themed game where you like jump or move things and it controls the character in the screen.
Okay.
Except the lag is like 2 seconds. So when you see something, you have to jump way ahead of when you think you do. Mm-hmm. And being 5 and this being at his house, he's played it more than, well, the 30 seconds I got it to. And he totally just kicked my ass and then taunts me and doesn't realize it either. That's the thing. He didn't realize he was taunting me.
No,
Man.
he thought he was being nice.
He thought he
"Just do
was.
better."
And I was like, seriously? Sis, get your kid under control. But
He's the
Oh,
nicest
man.
one of the 3.
yeah, I was going to say, knowing Sis, he's like, high five. You don't know how to taunt. You're the least likely to taunt. You deserve a high five.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh man. But
What?
Great life advice, though. Next time, just
Yeah.
do better.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So how did-
I think that's some advice that the pros could use after DDO.
Yeah. That was a rough
Oh,
tournament.
man. Yes. But Ian, I think you had a question there.
Well, I was going to say, how well did you both do today at your 8 a.m., minus the A's? Obviously, the highlight for Joe.
Well, we started on hole 10.
It's also the highlight for me.
You had some good putts, though.
I did. Yes.
So we started on hole 10. And through the first 9, 10 through 18, I had 1 par, 1 bogey, 1 ace, and 6 birdies. I was 7 down through 9 holes. You want to guess
At
what
a
my final
tough
score was?
Course.
7 down. Yep.
Yeah.
It turned into a wash for the next 10 holes because 19-hole course.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
I had 3 birdies, a bogey, and a double. It was
Yeah.
great. It was so
Yeah.
good. I shouldn't have looked at my score.
Yeah, that's what did it for you. But so this was only my second time playing it, hence why we were playing the short tees, because I'm like, I know what this course can be like, so I'm going to play it on easy mode for the most part. And I did, all things considered, I did fairly well.
I'd say so.
Yeah,
There's
there
some
was
tough
one
holes.
hole. Yeah, there was one hole where I went OB twice on, so I took a quad bogey on that one. That was ugly.
That's
And then
also the OB comes to a point around the basket. So
yeah, that one's tough.
it gets tougher
Really?
the closer you get.
Well, that's weird.
Yeah. Well,
It's
and
just-
then
Yeah.
I ended on a down note by missing my birdie putt, and
Oh.
that yeah, it was one of those where it's just like oh.
But you didn't lose any discs.
I did not lose any discs, and that was the hole where I said, if this disc goes in the water, I am going after it, even though it says please stay out of the creek because there is broken glass.
And absolutely disgusting. That
yeah,
water is
like,
so nasty.
I wanted no part of going into that creek, but I knew that if my disc went in there, I would 100% go in if I needed to.
Yep.
I mean, nastier than the water when I went in to try and find
Yes.
some discs.
To be fair, the water you went into was disgusting because of all the old, dead, decaying leaves.
Yes.
This water was disgusting because of the old, dead, decaying leaves, and it used to be a dump, and a lot of times the water's rainbow colored.
Oh, yeah, that's bad. Yeah, that's not good.
They're working to clean it out. It's just a very long,
Yeah,
slow
it's-
process.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's not easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but really, what got me today was because again, this is not probably it's the hardest course in the area.
Till the seminary gets finished.
Right. Till the seminary gets finished.
But that's because that course is 10,000, 11,000
Yeah,
feet.
it's
Wow.
One of the holes is 1,100 feet.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna need
Which
to make a trek, come out and
can't-
play that sometime.
Yeah, I can't wait until there's a T-pad there so you can actually get the chance for a
Traction.
decent drive.
yes.
And it might be. I haven't
So-
been there for a while, so
Yeah. I don't know what the progress is like on it. But yeah, no, today was
today was a good day.
definitely a learning experience.
Learn
it was
to
very
play
enjoyable.
golf.
Yes. It
Placement
was
shots.
and even more so than that, it was really for me trying to find that balance of playing aggressive but not too aggressive, to the point where I was putting myself in bad situations by trying to bite off more than I could control,
Been there.
or playing conservative enough where I was not really giving myself any chance to score, or I wasn't giving myself any leeway because I was just being too conservative. And so
It's a
that
fine
was
line.
It really is. And a lot of the courses I play, you can get away with being too aggressive, or if okay, this
Shelf
hole is going to be
like wide open.
Yeah.
So if you're 50 feet to the left or 100 feet to the left, whatever. It's still a
Yeah.
wide open look to get to the basket.
Well, and honestly, a lot of PFW, you can play it super aggressive. But if
trees
you
aren't
play it
that
conservative,
dense.
yeah, but if you play it conservative, then more than likely, you make a couple putts and you're still going to score well.
Yep.
Whereas,
Tillman will eat your lunch.
Well, you also said you're still learning, Tillman. And if you're
yes,
still learning a course, then it's one of those, as long as you haven't, gone into extreme amounts of strokes over par, you're like, yeah, that was a good time.
Yeah, so even with my quad, I finished at, I think, 11 over for the day on a 19-hole course.
That's
So,
not
it
bad
took
at
more.
all.
Yeah, it took more pars than bogeys. So I felt actually really good about the round. And that was something that, it was definitely when I asked Joe, hey, do you want to go play Tillman? It was definitely with the idea that, okay, I don't typically play this course because I feel like it is above my skill level.
Right now, it's right before the leaves have come in. So the lines are definitely more open. Finding your disc when you get off the fairway is far easier, except for the one hole that you almost lost your
My
bright
EMAT truth
yellow
on.
disc in the way the sun was hitting the leaves. Bright yellow, green leaves. It was terrible.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
But-
well, and that was the hole where I went OB twice on.
Yep.
So that was just all around a bad hole.
Yes. But
Oh, man.
you played through and you did well. All things considered, wasn't bad.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And that was the big thing.
Yep.
Go out, have a lot of fun. I
You
had a lot of
parked
fun.
B
at least.
position on that next hole, except we were
Yes.
playing to C.
Yeah, and you parked C.
But or B is 60 feet short of
Oh,
C.
Yeah, I had a circle 2 look on it.
Yeah.
man, that's not bad at
Yeah.
all.
But it was like right next to the pin.
Yeah.
It's like,
I'm like,
damn.
oh, man.
Womp womp.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so, all in all, a really fun day, really fun round. Ian, did you get out at all this weekend? Or I know it's been super rainy here this week, so were you able to make it out at all earlier this week?
No,
or-
with the 2 days of manual labor at my parents' house for all the tree destroying that needed to happen, didn't really get a chance. That, and right now everything is mostly still lake because all of the disc golf courses around us are predominantly the lowest point in the park or in the area. So it's just kind of like a big old swampy mess. And if I go out, I've got to bring a toddler, and I just didn't feel like having to try to de-mud him before getting him back in the car.
Just dunk him in the lake.
Yeah, obviously.
Problem solved. Here's some floaties. Have some fun.
But the problem is that I have to go through a whole bunch of marsh to get back to the car because the lake is still not that close.
That's true.
And they don't give us a free hose. I can't just be like, hose him down.
Here you go, Bean.
Man.
Oh, he'd love it. He loves hoses. He'd be like,
I know.
Yeah,
The
get me.
one or two times I've been over, he's been excited to spray me with the hose.
Yep.
Oh, man.
But yeah, trying to froth with a toddler it's interesting.
Yeah. I think my disc golf days are going to be slowly declining over the next few years before they jump up.
See, you'd think that, but if you can get someone to come with you and then take them to the park area or the playground area of the park.
That is where we're lucky. Pretty much all of the courses have a pretty nice park right next to it. Shoaf has a splash pad.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
So
nice.
over the summer, I can finally use it and not look like a weird old guy.
Oh,
Yep.
man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
man.
all of this does actually kind of bring us into the big topic for today, which I'm going to let RJ fully introduce since he's the one who decided he needed to write an article about it.
Mr. Fancy Pants.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. The article got delayed because someone else wrote an article and published it that same day.
Yes.
Joe.
But,
So I don't
being
know.
chief editor and more so the guy who pays for the website.
Well, yeah.
Plus, I didn't know that you were actually going to be done then.
That's fair. That's
So,
fair. I've
there's
talked
that.
about wanting to do this article for a while.
Yes.
So, yeah, if you haven't seen it on joesdiscgolf.com, I published an article titled Over the River, Through the Woods, Past Grandmother's House We Throw.
Mm-hmm.
And really what this article was about was how I think that there needs to be more emphasis on designing courses to help introduce people to disc golf.
Yep.
Part of this was based on, of course, a little bit of, the bias of the courses around me, which we are very lucky in that we have, near me, there is Recreation Park in Angola, Maxton Park in Butler, Shoaf, Tillman.
Eckerd.
Well, I was going to say Shoaf, Tillman,
Sweeney.
PFW, the two Sweeneys, Mosier, and two courses over in Bryan, Ohio that all host at least a couple of tournaments or leagues each year.
Mm-hmm. In Fort Wayne this year, there is a league every night except Saturday.
And somehow I can't make it to any of them.
Saturdays?
Don't.
Yes, except Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somehow I can't make it to any of them, and it absolutely blows my mind on how that happens.
How come you can't make
I think-
Sunday night?
Mainly because I didn't know that it happened last week.
They start at 5.
And, yeah. And so, last week was, I didn't know that it happened. This week was, I was busy.
Yep.
And they've only been going for 2 weeks. So
Next week.
hopefully next week. Yay. Hopefully. We'll see. But yes.
Yeah, there
The-
aren't beginner-friendly courses in the
Yeah.
Fort Wayne area.
Yeah, it's definitely something where even the beginner-friendly courses have some aspect of them that can be very tricky.
Yes. Sweeney West
Mosier is very tight. Both Sweeneys incorporate a lot of water.
Mosier has some decent water too.
Yeah, Mosier can get nasty quickly too. Tillman is
not beginner friendly at all.
No, Tillman, I would argue, is a championship level course.
It is.
Maybe not pro level, but definitely something that you could see on like a silver series or something like that.
Tillman blues are pretty rough.
Yeah.
Tillman blues to the hardest pin position are pretty terrible in like the best way possible.
Yeah.
If you don't mind shooting par and being very happy.
Well, I mean, if we're going with is it beginner friendly, then no, it's not beginner friendly.
Not at all.
No.
Chof is the one I direct people to the most. Lengthwise, it is not beginner friendly.
No.
But there's no water. There's hardly any OB. So it is, you're not going to lose a disc. You're not going to buy that starter pack and immediately lose everything in the first 3 holes. So,
which when I was I forgot I was disking on Monday and I threw a shot into the water and I went to go fish it out and I got to about where I thought my disc went out and realized, oh no, there's a disc the color of my disc here. So I must have gone out way back there.
Yep.
I'm like, man, I thought I did a lot better than this. I got up to it and realized that it was some type of basic starter set driver from Franklin, who I didn't even know made disc golf stuff.
Yes.
I threw it a couple times.
It's not PDGA approved, so you can't use it in a tournament.
Yep.
Just like the PGA, Pro Golf Association, makes disc golf discs, which are a starter set that are not PDGA approved. And I was watching one video on that. The driver is crazy understable, like nearly impossible to throw understable. And the mid-range is very stable. Very stable. And then the putter is basically a polecat, so it looks like a coffee lid.
Oh, okay.
The polecat is an awesome disc. There's a
especially
whole meme.
when it's
Halo polecat.
Yes. But yeah, so getting back to what I was saying, basically, a little bit of that comes from, my bias of there aren't really beginner friendly courses. There aren't courses for people who aren't throwing 300, 350, 400, consistently with accuracy around me. And it
Even
seems
250.
like... What's that?
Even, I'd say barrier to entry 250 accurately.
Yeah. And that's exactly the thing. And, seeing the Jones Supreme course, seeing W.R. Jackson a few weeks ago, seeing some different Pro Tour series courses, and seeing, obviously, and I'm involved a lot with disc golf social media. One of the biggest things that I keep seeing is people talking about these awesome championship level courses. So there's definitely some bias in this, in my perspective. But really,
you're not going to hear people saying like, yeah, I'm going to go to that putter course in Fort Wayne, Indiana, that 18 hole. You hear them talking about Eagles Crossing, that new multi-million-dollar disc golf course, or something like Maple Hill, or some other big name destination courses. You don't
exactly.
No one's going to post like, yeah, I just drove 6 hours to this putter only course.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so there is a little bias in general with that.
Yeah. But really, it was just, my point on it was, yes, these mega courses, they're important for the growth of the game. They're important for the health of the game. But long term, it's so much more important to get the courses that get people involved in the game and get them active and enjoying it. One of the quotes, or one of the statistics that I used, is a majority of kids are going to walk away from a sport because of the fact that they're not enjoying it. But what's going to contribute to them not enjoying it? It's them basically having pressure to perform, and it's them feeling like they can't meet those expectations, or, you know, their own perceived, basically aptitude at a sport. And I even talked about in the article, before COVID, I took probably a year and a half, 2 years off from playing because I didn't enjoy playing by myself. There weren't courses that were relatively beginner friendly close to me. And it was just one of those things where I'm like, yeah, okay, I can go spend 2 hours playing this game and just, you know, kind of not having fun with it, or I can do literally anything else.
Yeah. I think that's one thing that Castaldo Park by you, Ian, does well, is the holes are on the longer side of a short course. So like 275, 300. But the par is soft. Very soft. Very soft.
Yeah.
Par 4s, par 5s. Like the par 5 is what, 370?
Yeah, which we, of course, all home ruled that everything's a par 3.
Yes. But if you're someone brand new just looking at the sign going, oh, cool, par 4? Cool, I parred this hole. Or the one hole that's, what, 150 feet? That's I think that's a par 3.
It is a par 3, and anytime I need an ego boost, I would just go by whatever the sign par is, because you always go, nice. Yes. I feel so good at disc golf right now.
I mean, and then as you get better, as we did, like we all were like, oh man, this is rough. You know, we'll play 2 laps, and because it's only a 9-hole course, and shooting like 3-4 down, we're like, oh, that was tough. And then we got to the point where like, okay, I didn't shoot 13 down. I'm having a bad day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Relative to course par, not everything is a par 3.
We got real upset when it wasn't like, oh yeah, I'm 11, 12, and then eventually like 15 down.
Yeah. Going after that Macbeth 18 down.
and that's one of those things that, you know, I touched on in the article is I'm not saying that we need to soften the pars at courses like Jones Supreme, like Eagles Crossing, that type of thing. It was very much there was even an interview with Eric McCabe.
Yep.
Who is, you know, designed Jones Supreme, designs a lot of different courses. And he said something along the lines of, you know, he gets people wanting to make these disc golf meccas, but then they realize, oh, it's only like 19 acres of space. Well, you're not going to make a disc golf mecca on 19 acres of space.
Nope.
You need to make a beginner course on that.
Yeah. Maybe an intermediate depending on what the woods are looking like.
And you know, how much water there is and whatnot.
He talks about that a lot on Understable Minds and formerly Disc Golf Answer Man, where he's like, you know, the sport also needs beginner courses because, you know, and he always brings up, like you said, how much fun are you going to have going to play Tillman if that's your only option?
Yeah.
You're not.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
If you don't know how to play, that's not a course you're going to learn on.
Yeah.
And that's where I forget who I talked to. I think some of the plans have changed, but they're trying to get a juniors / putter course in the Fort Wayne area for that reason, because we have a lot of great disc golf courses, but a lot of terrible beginner disc golf courses. Now, all the pros in the area, everybody who's grown up here say they're awesome, but if we want to get a wider audience, a wider base, you need those. You need those, like, Show Park has a golf course, and it's a par 3 public golf course. It's kind of crappy, but it's also cheap. It's short, and you can have success.
Well, I was going to say, for you guys, your area, RJ and Joe, is there a lot of like park district related or project based disc golf
Club?
courses, or
The club has worked very close with the park district
okay?
Yeah.
over the
And
last
I
couple
know-
years.
I'm just thinking about all of the courses near me. Eckert is literally at the home of the Parks Department for the county. The other,
Separate county from what Fort Wayne is.
yes. The course that I call my home course is literally attached to is in the park that is the biggest park in the town that's attached to the high
Okay.
school.
Yeah.
Again, up in the county just north of me, the 18 or the
There's
Yeah,
a lot
the
of
18
there's a lot of
hole-
Parks Department support is
yeah,
what
exactly.
we're getting at.
Exactly.
And that's come through many years of other people in the club working very closely with the right people, and the right people kind of finding disc golf and going, hey, this is kind of cool.
So the reason I ask is for us around here, I remember going disc golfing with essentially ultimate frisbee discs when
the first
they
thing I did.
built them in, oh goodness, the first one around here was O'Brien Park.
Didn't you say you helped? It was like an Eagle project or something?
No, it was just we went with it was Cub Scouts. It was
Oh,
Weeblos.
that's what
we
it
went
was.
out as Weeblos in like 98 or 99.
That sounds about right.
Is when I remember, they were like, oh, there's this new sport called disc golf. And we're like, whoa, okay.
Disc golf?
So yeah, no,
As opposed to
just
dat golf.
ultimate disc, ultimate frisbee discs. There was no such thing as a driver to my knowledge at that time.
Yeah.
Although I'm sure there were.
There
but-
were. It just wasn't.
Yeah.
You had to have a
Climo with,
disc golf shop.
word.
But so anyway, the point is that the park districts around here have kind of just built them, and there's been minor input from the clubs, but no one around here is like pro enough, or any of the clubs are like, we're gunning for pros. That everything has been moderately beginner to intermediate, except for Mokina. I think that had a lot
Yes.
more,
Well,
structured help.
Mokina, they held Illinois States a couple times, to my knowledge, and this was 10 years ago.
That
The other
and,
the other big
Lockport.
club is technically they're in the Joliet Club, but it's Lockport, Delwood Park,
Yeah, that
the Canyons. That's
Yep.
a really good park.
it really
Not
is.
beginner friendly.
It is tough.
It is so much fun. I had a
It
blast.
really, it's good time.
That was one of the few courses where I'm like, that was hard. That kicked my ass. I want to play again.
Yeah,
Because it was-
That's good course design right there.
It was a fair hard. Like it was
Oh, yeah.
like I didn't hit my lines, so I didn't have a great shot. It's not like some of the courses I've played where I hit my line and there's no line. Like 100 feet off the tee, it's just kind of a guess if you're going to hit that tiny gap or not. And
You're
it's
playing
not
Plinko.
so much skill as it is luck.
Yeah, you're playing Plinko,
Yeah.
essentially.
yeah.
I mean, and I'll admit, if my skill isn't good enough for some of those, there was no line. Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
it's just, here's a wall of trees. Get lucky.
Well, I mean, the way I look at it is there are two kinds of groups that are going to go out. You have the people who are going to go out and they're going to play disc golf. You have the group of people like mostly me. We're going to go frolfing because we're going with our friends. So we're going to play by the rules, but we're not going to stick to PDGA rules. We're
we're
going
also
to
gonna get
basically just go,
hammered.
we're having a good time. We'll keep score, but we don't care enough to be like, I have to perform well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Plus,
that's
you're getting shit faced.
Not
anymore.
Really, not anymore.
Yeah.
yeah. No, and that was another point that I kind of brought up was it's very important to have these tougher courses. It's important as the sport grows, as the sport develops. Joe, during our round today, you and I talked about how we both enjoyed DDO because we watched the pros play golf, essentially. They had to plan out their shots and, okay, I need to land here so that I can do this. And, it wasn't just a scoring fest. It was, this is what I need to do to avoid taking big numbers on this and what I have to do to, score how I want on this hole.
Yeah, par is a good number.
Yeah, and, those type of things are good, especially as we see the sport grow from a professional standpoint.
But we also talked about how we enjoyed the variety, too. So going from W.R. Jackson, a very tight wooded course, to, a couple stops later, DDO, pretty open, a lot of artificial OB. And then you've got courses like Texas State's that have a few open-ish and then some woods, and it's a good mix.
Yeah.
Variety is the spice of lilife.
Yeah, it wouldn't be fun to watch the pros do, all, 300-foot, tightly wooded, courses.
It gets boring after a while.
Yeah, or all just big bomber 550-footers.
Last year, they ran into that issue where they played a couple golf courses back to back. So, how far can you throw it?
Yep.
Which, the first time it was fine. The second time, Third time, it's like, If they did that 3 times through the season, I'd be like, all right, that's not bad. But it was kind of back to back. And part of the issue was just dealing with the wide variety of COVID restrictions in 2021.
Yes.
Because they were all over the board, and they tried to plan ahead, which, good Lord, I do not envy that person.
Yeah. So
I don't envy them now, where it's pretty much calm, let alone a year ago.
Yeah.
They were drinking heavily.
Hopefully they were. But it's important to see, the Eagles Crossing, those type of courses develop where, it challenges the pros in different ways, and it challenges the higher end players in different ways. And it's, they're destination courses. They're places where people that truly enjoy the sport are, get really into the sport can go, yeah, I really want to go there someday.
Yep.
That's important. But it's also important to have the local courses so that you have a healthy recreational sport.
Yep. There's a good reason why we start with T-ball and not Little League.
Yeah.
Well,
and even beyond that, you Ian, I don't know about you, but Joe, Ben, and I all play golf. Not particularly well.
I play the worst by a lot.
Don't worry. I'd be worse than you. I'm awful.
I almost hit Primer. So, okay, side story. We were teeing off, and I was like, guys, you should stand behind me. And he's like, no, I'll be fine. He's standing at, let's see. So I'm addressing the ball. If my eye line straight ahead as I'm addressing the ball is at noon, he's standing at maybe 11 o'clock.
Okay.
I hit the garbage can next to him on my drive. Club
Cheers,
face
buddy.
got a little open. A lot open. And from that point on, everybody stood behind me when I teed off. I told him, I tried to be fair. I said, you guys should probably stand behind me. Nah, you can't hit me. At me. And I wasn't even trying to do it on purpose.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's like when someone's walking down through the park and you're like, okay, it's a little kid. Don't hit that kid. Don't hit that kid. Don't hit that kid. And then immediately you're just like, I'm going to hit that kid.
That's like that one time we went and played and you smoked that goose in the head. That goose had a concussion for sure because you hit it and it just kind of got up. It was like, whoa, like it was unsteady on its feet. It was shaking its head. It was.
Oh Oh man.
Yep. I was really trying not to hit that goose.
And you smoked it in
railed
the
that
head.
goose.
And to be
In
fair,
fairness, it was a goose.
and the more impressive part is you did hit him in the head.
Oh,
and
yeah.
a goose head is what, twice the size of a golf ball?
Yeah, it's a small target, and it was moving, not very fast, but it was still technically moving.
And it was moving slower after.
It's just, bam. I don't advocate violence against animals because I'm like, I don't want to hurt this animal,
No.
but oh god, like I was just so focused on not hitting the goose that when I released it was just like, well, that's gonna hit
Laser.
that goose, isn't it? And it
Laser
did.
to it.
We at the Half in the Bag Disc Golf Podcast do not advocate hurting animals in any way, shape, or form.
Like
We do
geese are
not.
mean.
Yeah,
don't-
geese.
They're mean,
No,
but I don't
know.
advocate hurting them.
No, I don't either.
Correct.
It's
I
just
advocate giving them a wide berth.
yes, yes.
I ain't fighting a goose.
Except when they build their nest right next to the door for that building you need to get into,
Yeah,
and it's
that,
the only entrance.
that gets interesting.
Yep. Go fast.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Try your Naruto run.
They can't
Better yet,
nip your
follow the-
bum if you Naruto run.
Better yet, follow the guy doing the Naruto run.
Yeah. Trip him.
I
Let's
don't
be
have to
real. The
faster
guy
than
doing the
bear.
Naruto run would probably end up just falling on his face anyway.
Absolutely.
Just remember, I don't have to be faster than the bear. I just have to be faster than you.
Yep.
That's true.
Yes, it is.
Oh man. But anyway, so getting us back on topic, what I was trying to say is, it's important for the long-term growth at, especially at the pro level, and as the sport becomes more
Awesomer.
I was going to say more of a professional, more of a
Kind of out of the niche into that
yes, into more
professional
mainstream.
bowling type.
Yes.
Where it's a thing. It's a thing, but it's
Yeah.
not baseball, football, soccer,
Right,
basketball.
exactly. And seeing it, build up, those courses are important for that aspect of the sport.
Yep.
But the beginner friendly, the intermediate, the ones that people can really cut their teeth on from a recreational level are the ones that are going to be important to the long-term health and growth of the sport. Just as a general recreational activity. As I was saying, Ben, Joe, and I, we all golf. None of us compete in it unless we're doing a scramble for charity or something.
Hey, we've played at the Albright golf outing. Not well,
Yes.
but we've
yes.
I've played for the Trine team, but they sponsored two teams that year. The team that knows how to play golf, and then the team I was on, where we drank beer and smoked cigars and had a great time. And
Yep.
they're like, and here's the prizes. Here's the best score, most skins, all that. And we're just like, yeah, I'll have another beer. I'm not winning any of that.
Yep.
You gave me free beer and cigars. I'm happy with my day.
Yeah. So, that's exactly, kind of the point that I was getting at with
Yep.
it is, we need to make sure as the sport grows that we're being conscientious of how we are designing courses, not just for the people that are the designers,
Yep.
but for everyone to really and truly grow the sport.
Yeah.
Well,
Go ahead.
well, that's going to come down to the local clubs. I mean, at this point, they're going to essentially be the voice for the non-professionals. We have to say, hey, let's try to do X, Y, or Z with this course. Yes, it's not going to be like, ooh, look, come and play on a professional course. But as the sport grows, those courses are going to be paid courses. You're going to have to go.
Oh, for
you're
sure.
going to get a specific tee
yeah.
time, things like
When
that.
the seminary finishes, it's going to be a pay-to-play course. Now they're talking about making an annual fee and feeling out what that would be, but they're thinking a couple bucks around, which makes sense, I guess.
Yeah. Well,
But-
and that's
and, like-
the thing about the pay-to-play courses, or even free will donation courses. Last summer, my wife and I played a course when we were on vacation, and it there wasn't a fee for it, but it was please donate something to the course. So I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll throw a couple bucks in.
And
it's
then a
part
few
of my
discs
vacation.
and
No, I didn't lose any discs. I was really mad though.
yeah.
Because I parked a hole and I got a par on it because sign par was par 2. And I was really annoyed by that. And
Yep.
and it just so happened that was the hole right before the collection box. And I'm like, do you really deserve this?
You should have made that a par 4 and everybody eagles and feels good about it. So they donate more.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, Well, so we started on like hole 12
Oh, so
or
it wasn't,
13 or
that
something.
was your last hole, not the last hole.
It was the last hole.
Oh,
It was hole 18, but the donation box was on hole 1. So with us
Oh.
starting on like hole 12 or something like that,
gotcha,
it was
gotcha,
something
gotcha.
where it's just like, oh, huh.
That's, in my mind, for like an ideal starter course, I don't know if it would be 9 or 18. Kind of depends on the land.
Yeah.
In my mind, you'd have a couple holes that are 175-ish feet. Couple in the 220s, maybe one around 250. And then you have that one hole, that par 4, that's like 300, 320. That when it finally clicks, you're like, yeah, I got that one.
Yeah.
You get that
That's-
one that I guess beats you down a little bit as you're newer, but you've done well up to that point. And then you're like, all right, I need to work harder to get better. Or just go, meh.
Yeah.
But as you said earlier, I mean, that's Castaldo Park in
Yeah, it
Woodridge,
really is.
Illinois. It is the perfect beginner park, in my opinion. 9 holes. It's easy enough that anyone, even a beginner, can play it in a relatively short span of time. You
Yep.
can have yourself a good time. And then there are tons of other more difficult nine-hole courses if you want to go for more skill-based
Yep.
intermediate play, or 18-hole courses that have a variety of, what you're looking at more in the pros, where you've got some more wide open shots, but you also have some small technical patches.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you can even, Castaldo, we mentioned it, just say everything's a par 3 if you want to make it harder on yourself. To see if you're, doing better or whatever.
Yeah. And I mean, you talk about those really short holes. We played a couple holes that seemed like they were literally just, you could almost reach out and touch the basket from the tee today. And how many of those did we say, man, I just want to keep throwing until I ace this?
Yep.
And
Some of those had some tight lines, though. You had some gaps
some of
that
them
you
had
had to
some
hit.
really tight lines and some really, really tough
I almost
play.
lost a disc.
Yeah, you did. On one of those really short holes.
Yeah. Well, there's 3 lanes you could go up. You could go the straight ahead route, which is a 5-foot wide gap tunnel shot the whole
yeah.
way, all
It's-
180,
Nice.
200 feet. There's a
Yep.
big
Okay.
backhand hyzer route or a big forehand hyzer route. And me being a forehand player, I just casually chuck out a forehand shot. And the last time I did that, I was a foot long at the basket. Damn near aced it. So I did the same thing. This time I clipped a tree branch. It dropped it straight down, and I was about 2 feet away from the creek that was about 6-7 feet higher than it usually is.
Ooh.
I was
exciting.
not going to get that back if I lost it.
Nope.
I probably wouldn't get it back if the creek was at the normal levels too, just because you're up probably 15 feet and it is not straight down, but not something you can climb down.
Yeah.
But yeah, and they were still challenging enough, and I had fun. I played a few of those. There's a course 20 minutes from my parents', 9-hole course. I think I pulled out my putters and maybe a mid-range just because I needed something to dump. And I had a blast. And my wife had a blast because it was short.
Yeah.
Was that the course you took me to all those
No.
years ago?
No.
Is it a different one? Oh,
It's a
okay.
different one. It was in Tinley Park, I think. UDisc, help me remember.
Well, while you look that up, I mean, yeah, there's a course that's about 10 minutes from my home that, you know, I love just taking my dog to, you know, for, you know, a quick morning round or something, because it's 9 holes. It's not that long. It's fairly open. So it's one of those things where it's like, okay, you know, I don't have to worry about, you know, throwing a disc and then being like, oh, now my dog needs to, you know, I need to go pick up after my dog. Where'd my disc go again? You know, that type of thing. You know, it has a little bit of water that comes into play with it. It also has some brushy areas that you can definitely lose a disc in, and I
Yes.
almost lost my favorite disc in, even though I spent, I swear, like 40 minutes looking for it. Spent longer looking for the disc than I actually did playing. But, you know,
I found
yeah,
it.
I mean, those type of local courses are great, too.
I found it. It is Dugan Park in Orland Park, Illinois. 9-hole course. According to UDisc, the shortest hole is 180 feet, and the longest hole is 264. And I got an ace on it.
Oh.
Which hole was that? Hole 3, 180 feet. And of course, there was a family party going on because it was super nice. It was like 4th of July weekend or something. So course was just packed with people. And there's this family party like near hole 3, far enough away where it's 180 feet. I'm not worried about hitting them. And the guy comes up to me. He's like, "Oh, hey, this looks like fun. This looks difficult." You know, I was like, "Oh yeah, you know, it's pretty hard." And I take it and I just throw it, thinking I threw a bad shot. I was like, you know, it can be kind of difficult. Ching.
Nice.
That
Like,
was
or yeah. Except that time I threw a mid-range. I remember I threw an anchor.
Okay.
well, it's a good thing that Ben didn't throw that, or else he would have ended up in the family party's cooler.
Yeah. Yep. But the guy's like,
I've
"Wow, that
gotta
was really good."
Get my disc and take a couple
Oh,
of
this
these.
Yeah, that might actually be intentional with Ben.
Yeah. Hole in one.
Or Ben,
Ben, you missed
catching
the basket.
strays.
I got it exactly
I hit
where I meant
right
to.
what I was aiming at.
Yep.
He's
like
a
that
disc golf
Simpsons.
wizard.
But no, so that happened when, like, one of the very first times that you and I went out discing with my wife, and was your wife there too?
Probably.
Probably. I don't know if she was playing with us, but
Safe bet.
I think she was there.
She probably
And-
was throwing a few holes and then walking.
Yeah. So, and you know, this was like one of the first times that my wife had ever played. Joe takes the shot and just throws it right into the basket. Like it was nothing. I'm just like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yep. My wife actually told me, because the first time she went out, it was me, Ben, and Kayla and her.
Okay.
And
Okay.
she was walking along with us, and she was getting mad because she thought everybody played as well as Ben and I did. Now, at that time, upper intermediate, but like we're at Shove, so we look better because bad shots kind of exist, but not really.
They don't have consequences.
It's forgiving.
Yes. So her first couple experiences were with us, and we're like, everybody can throw 300 feet and do what you guys do. And then she finally went out with other people. I think Brian was with us one time, and then she felt a lot better about how she throws.
Yeah. Yeah, because Ben's wife is also a very good disc golfer.
She can't putt from anything inside circle 2, but you put her 75 feet and she'll drain it all day. It's stupid.
That's amazing.
It's Kayla distance is what it is.
That's literally what we call it.
I've heard the reference so many times.
She cannot hit a 15-footer to save her life, but I've watched her throw it in from 100 feet like it was nothing. Like, I hate you so much. So much. But good shot. Good shot.
Yep.
So what you're saying is if she could putt, she'd take down the tour?
Probably. God.
I mean, just get her within 100 feet and...
Yep.
Yeah.
Can't get her too close. Why is she throwing away from the basket? Well, she needs to putt.
Wait, what?
But she only has a 20-footer. Yeah, we know. We know. Just watch.
Should be at least 75 feet.
Yep.
Yes.
She'd have a 0% putting percentage.
Yes. Oh, man.
Beautiful.
But I think there's a 0% chance of this podcast continuing.
Uh-oh. Your daughter's getting angry?
Yeah, a little bit. Plus, we're at an hour 15 already.
We are.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our longest one with Ian yet.
Yeah. Ian's got staying power.
Yeah. I feel like the episodes with Ian are slowly getting longer. By like the end of the year, they're going to be 3-hour episodes.
What do you think?
We're all
This
just
is Joe
going to be
Rogan?
sitting there.
This is Joe's Disc Golf, not Joe Rogan.
But we'll have
What's the
very
difference?
engaging topics to talk about.
We have no pot. That's
You
the
just
difference.
Oh, man.
I don't know what
Affects you
Illinois'
some.
laws are, but Indiana still can't.
Yeah, I know. Because you guys live in Indiana.
Yeah, but then there's Michigan, Ohio, Illinois, and probably not
Yeah.
Kentucky. I don't know.
No.
I doubt Kentucky.
If not, Kentucky's got to be soon. Or they just don't talk about it. But, you know, it's
Yeah.
Kentucky.
Kentucky,
And-
home of the bootleggers.
Honestly, I play disc golf. If that
Fried
kind of stuff
chicken.
bothered me, I wouldn't play disc golf.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just asked them
Very much so.
to be downwind of me.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't need to smell skunk.
You smell it no matter what.
Yeah.
Don't need to fail a drug test
Yes.
for not
Very
having
much so.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Also,
the negative
secondhand
sides.
smoke. Oh man!
And as I
Let's
continue to derail the podcast,
We still
Yeah.
have
we
fun.
say goodbye.
Yes. So again, if you've been watching this and you want to listen, you can find it wherever you get your major podcasts.
Yep.
If you've been listening and want to watch, you can find it on Joe's YouTube channel, YouTube/Joe's Disc Golf. You can also find Joe streaming on
Twitch.
on Twitch and
/Joe's Disc
YouTube.
Golf. And Facebook. But Facebook
and
sucks.
Facebook?
You can hear me complain about Facebook. Live streaming on Facebook while
Yes.
live streaming on YouTube,
on-
Facebook, and Twitch.
On
At least
basically everything
once.
but Facebook.
At least once
Yes.
during live stream, I usually ask the question, Facebook, why do you suck so much? They have yet to respond.
That is an accurate statement.
And then I
they're
also
not going
complain
to.
about YouTube for not copying Twitch more because their live streaming sucks too.
Yeah.
It's getting better,
So
but
again,
There are
if
pluses
you want to
and
follow
minuses
us on
to each.
social media, Yeah. If you want to follow us on social media, you can find us at Half in the Bag DG. You can follow me at RJ Wilson 131. You can follow Joe. Where can they follow you, Joe?
On Twitter and Instagram at Joe's Disc Golf. And then they can follow Ian.
I'm on Twitter at Popperfresh, Popr Fresh.
Yeah.
And also twitch.tv/Popperfresh. Keeping it simple.
You can watch him die a lot in
Yes, you
Elden
can.
Ring. I almost said Dark
And
Souls.
other games.
Same thing.
It is.
Same thing, different skin. And
pretty
more
much.
polished.
Yes. But very much so.
So,
It's like they learned
so they use
something.
moisturizer on the skin?
Moisturize me.
And other shaders.
Anyway. So, yeah, I think that pretty well concludes it. Ian, thank you once again for joining us.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
You're like a regular host now. Good job.
Yeah. Cool like that.
Joe, thank you
Yeah?
for all that you do for the podcast
Oh, shucks.
and the website and the video and the everything.
Life, the universe, and everything.
Yes.
42.
Yes, thank you for all that you
Yes.
do for disc golf.
I
And
try.
listeners and viewers, thank you for taking the time to listen and watch us today. We
Yep.
hope you enjoyed it. And just remember, everyone, always enjoy your rounds. Bye.
Have a good night. Bye.